ziyarat, we discussed that it was a part of the life of the Sufi followers and the Bhakti followers at that time. We also discussed that near the tomb of the sheikhs, the states or the rulers, they built their forts so as to maintain an association, so as to maintain a legitimacy with them, because in the Deccan there were non-Muslim people who were not supporting the Muslim rulers, but they were supporting the Chishtis, what we call Bhakti and Sufi saints. They were supporting Chishtis and they were also taking to ziyarats to these places. Hello students, we are at the end of the chapter. It has been a very good journey throughout, which had been a part of our life, talking about the Bhakti and the Sufi saints. We had long traveled in this chapter, learning about so many things and which even today we see in our daily life. We have seen that how the Sufis, they remained away from the political power. In fact, Sufis wanted to remain away from the political power because they wanted to lead a life of saint, because their aim was not to accumulate wealth. Even when they were given charity, I told you yesterday, they only accepted the charity which was of immediate requirement: food, clothing, water, immediate requirement. Otherwise, this was not their tendency to accumulate wealth or to accumulate things. Then we are discussing that in North India, there were 3 saints who became very popular, and some of the saints have become a part of our life. We follow them, we follow their teachings, and we try to be like them. We try that whatever was taught by these gurus or these saints, we try to bring it in our life. We discussed about Kabir yesterday. There is a dilemma whether Kabir was a Hindu or a Muslim, because he was a foster son of his parents. Parents were julahas, weavers, and they had just been converted into Islam. So, and although in the hymns of Kabir we see he has used a number of terms like Shabd, like Shunya and Atma and other, in Vedic literature also he had taken some words. So we talked about Kabir. Many verses of Kabir still very popular. It is in the syllabus of Hindi in the classes, and we still chant the verses of Kabir very frequently. Today again we are switching over to another popular saint of India, that is Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He was born in Nankana Sahib near the river Ravi, which is also known as the Muslim Punjab. He was born in 1469 and he took his nirvana in 1539. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he had been a personality who was born in a merchant family. Then he was trained as an accountant, but he remained with the saints, he remained with the Bhakti and Sufi saints throughout, and he learned a lot about Nirgun Bhakti. From his childhood, he was against the rituals, he was against the ritual baths, against the austerity. He was also against the casteism that was prevalent at that time, and he used to chant hymns because he remained with the saints, he remained with very popular personalities who were connected with the God, so-called, that is Nirgun Bhakti at that time, and he gave the name to the God whom we worship, that the name of Rab. Then he appointed Guru Angad Dev Ji as his preceptor, so as to take forward his ideals. We can, although Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he did not say anything about any religion, but we can very proudly say that he actually laid the foundation of Sikhism later, because later the followers of this sect, they separated themselves from the Hindus and the Muslims, and a new Sikhism was developed. Then the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, he compiled the hymns of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and also collected the hymns of the 4 previous Gurus, and plus the hymns of Kabir, the hymns of Baba Farid, and then this was a compilation that later came to be known as Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Then our 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he took lots of initiative to propagate these ideals, because they were very, very good for the society. Because Guru Nanak Dev Ji, during his lifetime, he also laid stress on the Sangat, that is called congregational worship, that is Sangat. And through Sangat, he used to recite the Shabads. Then Guru Gobind Singh Ji, our 10th Guru, he made lots of efforts to unite the people and to take forward the ideals of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He compiled all the works of the previous Gurus, even of the 9th Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, and then finally our Guru Granth Sahib Ji, it came up, and even today in the Gurdwaras, we listen to it, we chant, we have congregational worships over there, collective worships over there, and this came up to be a very popular religion which served humanity. No rituals, no ceremonies, but serving the humanity. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he also laid the foundation of Khalsa Panth, that is the army of the pure, and he organized the Sikhs and compiled all the verses also, and this led to a social, religious and military force as a feature of the community. Social, religious, military force. And the credit goes to our Gurus. The 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, we still remember all these Gurus. We go through their teachings and we try to assimilate these teachings in our daily life. Then we come to the next saint of the time, that is Meerabai. She was a princess, Rajput princess, and from the very beginning she was a devotee of the avatar, the incarnation of Vishnu, that is Krishna. She was married without her wish. She was married in a palace, and even then she could not continue as a wife or as a mother, and she was not at all interested in the married life and the life of the palace, and all the time she was in the worship of Krishna. And the family members, the in-laws of Meerabai, they didn't like it. It is a legend that her in-laws wanted to poison her, but she escaped, and finally she fled away from the palace, and she dedicated her life to the worship of Krishna. Then there is also a reference of Raidas, whom she considered that he would be his follower and the supporter and would take her ideals forward, and he was a leather worker. This signifies that even Meerabai, she did not she did not supported the casteism at that time. Even in the legend of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, we hear of Mardana, who was a companion of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and when Guru Nanak Dev Ji used to recite the verses, he played on the rabab. So that means these saints were against casteism. Same with Meerabai. This Raidas was a leather worker, and he worked with Meerabai. Although Meerabai could not become very popular among the people, but particularly among the poor, she became very popular, even today her verses are sung. Her verses are particularly in the worship of Lord Krishna as an incarnation of Vishnu, and particularly in Gujarat and Rajasthan. Because she belonged to Rajasthan, Mewar, particular places, Malwa, Mewar. So in Gujarat and Rajasthan, still the verses of Meerabai are recited, they are chanted, they are sung. Like this, we complete this chapter, which was a beautiful chapter. We learned so many things. We try to grasp them internally and to make all these teachings a part of our life. We went through the vachanas that were part of the Lingayats and part of the Baswana. We went through the very ornate language of the Vedas, and the language that was propagated by our saints, that was a very common language and a very simple language that could be understood by a layman also, by common people also. And we went through so many buildings, sculptures, monuments, forts, etc. that tell us about the hidden stories of Bhakti and Sufi tradition. Some stories are hidden, some stories are told to us by different historians, and the credit goes to all of them who read them. As I told you that the hagiography of Kabir that was written after his death, after 200 years of his death, that were published. So very late, but very important for us to learn that India had been the land of all these popular saints, and India is very fortunate to have all these saints. So that is all in this chapter. We will meet again with a new chapter for you with great energy and enthusiasm. Till then, a very goodbye.